Hello, my name is Reverend Dan, and I'm going to share a story with you today. At the end of the story, there will be some questions. You'll know the questions are coming because they'll start with, I wonder. These questions are the kind where there's no right or wrong answer. You might hear a question and just know what the answer is. There might be another question that you have many answers to. And maybe there will be a question you don't have any answers to. Or maybe you don't even understand the question. And all of that is okay. You can say as many or as few answers as you have. If you're watching with someone else, you might even have different answers than the other person has, and that's okay too. So, let's get ourselves ready to enter the story. I'm at home. Home is a safe place where we can take off our masks. I'm going to keep it right here so that I can use it later when I go back outside. Look at this. I wonder what this could be. I wonder what's inside. It looks like a parable box, but it is red. It must be like a parable, but also not a parable. Let's see what's inside. There once was a great tower. Everyone who worked on the tower shared the same language as they worked together. But as the tower continued to grow, they began to talk in different ways. They wanted their tower to reach the heights of heaven. They grew proud of themselves and began to think that they were greater builders even than God. Every group thought that it was better than the others. A huge noise came and replaced their talking. Didn't make any sense. Everyone was babbling. The tower soon fell of its own accord, and so it was called the Tower of Babel. All of the shared language was shattered and broken in pieces. Each one was beautiful, but it was only a piece of what their talking had been together. Thousands of years passed. Jesus was born, lived, worked, and then died on the cross. But that was not the end of the story. Somehow, he was still with them, even as he is still with us. Look, here are the disciples. We have Peter, James, John, Andrew, Philip, Bartholomew, Matthew, Thomas, James the Less, and Jude. Judas was no longer with them. Jesus took the disciples out of Jerusalem and up outside of the city to a place called the Mount of Olives. Jesus was taken from them, and the Holy Spirit would come down, but not quite yet. The disciples returned to the city and went to the temple, where they worshiped God and prayed together day and night for 10 days. They were filled with joy. They chose Matthias to bring their number to 12 in order to replace Judas with God's help. One Sunday, they were all together in one place, and suddenly a rushing wind came and filled the whole house where they were, filled them to their very bones. It was the Holy Spirit of God. The Spirit filled them with such fervor and fire. It felt like their tongues were burning and their hearts were burning too. And they went out into the street where everyone was just hanging out. There was a big festival, and there were people from all over the world. And they saw the excitement of the disciples and began to hear each one in a different language, but all at the same time, all the same language as the disciples were speaking. And everyone was amazed at what had happened. Everyone knew that the disciples had come close to God, and that God, in a new way, had come close to the disciples. The disciples then became apostles and went to all the different parts of the world to tell the story about Jesus and God's love for them. That was the first Christian Pentecost. But that is not the end of the story. It is still happening. Whenever someone shares the story of Pentecost with courage and bravery, with fervor and excitement, it is still happening. The Holy Spirit is still working. She is like fire.